It's a pleasure to have you here. The details now. The Ghana Business Consultative Forum has accused the IMF of trying to collapse local businesses. The group says the current taxes approved by Parliament in a bid to secure the IMF loan will do more harm to businesses than good. The group has also accused the government of lack of consultation on the new taxes. They are, among other demands, calling on government to widen the tax net as well as seal all revenue leakages in the revenue mobilization system. They're also demanding government abolish the tax exemption policy with immediate effect. My colleague James Aveji is live at that news conference where they made these demands. He joins us with more. James, tell us more about these concerns and what the Consultative Forum is hoping to do about it.
So, Bernice, the Consultative Forum is actually saying that they are here today to register their displeasure over government as well as Parliament going ahead to approve these three revenue mobilization taxes, as you said there. Those are some of the concerns they have raised. The bigger one is that if the government is not careful, the IMF will use this to kill local businesses. They say that they have already paid their dues to government. In fact, they stated that in the past couple of years, government has met its revenue mobilization target, which means that the business community is doing enough, paying enough revenue to enable government generate the revenue target they have set for themselves. And so for government to go ahead to impose these new taxes on them, they feel betrayed by government. They also indicated that government looks like government is abusing the free zone business enclave where they lease these places to foreign businesses without generating much revenue from them. That's where they call for an abolishment of the tax exemption policy. They feel it is not doing this country enough good. They also say that the COVID-19 as well as, the cedi depreciation has already eroded their investment capital. And so for government, which is making their cost of running businesses very expensive, they say this is leading to the Ghanaian businesses not being lucrative on the sub-region because the higher the cost of production, the higher the price their goods and services on the market, and so they become very uncompetitive on the sub-region. That is in the same vein they are calling on government to actually abolish the tax exemption policy. And then appealing to government. You know, government usually would say that our economy is being overburdened by the COVID-19 situation. Their proposal to government is that government needs to identify the particular sectors of the economy affected by the COVID-19 and to what degree has the damage been done, and calling on government to formulate or put together policies to tackle those particular sectors of the economy. Failure to do that, we may be going around as a country trying to tackle the effect of the COVID-19 on our business sector without achieving much in that regard.
James, beyond the forum calling on government to, among others, abolish these tax systems and seal the revenue leakages, do they indicate what steps they're going to take in ensuring that government heeds their call?
They were not very clear on what the next line of action would be. They are hopeful that government will listen to their call. And so I'm sure in the coming days, if the government fails to do that, apart from them accusing Parliament of going ahead to pass this bill, which they feel was not in the interest of Ghanaians as representatives of the people, they feel that this was not in the interest of Ghanaians. And so they have accused Parliament of also betraying them as well. They haven't mentioned what particular action they may be taking. I'm sure we'll be finding out that as soon as the press conference is over.
Thank you very much. That's my colleague James Aveji joining us from the press conference of the Ghana Business Consultative Forum, which is accusing the IMF of trying to collapse local businesses. Let's do some other stories now into an unfortunate one. The murder of a 29-year-old man at Nanpandori in the northern region has sparked concerns about the failure of the state to provide adequate security for people in the area. The deceased, Suk Faitnib, was allegedly dragged out of his room and butchered by two men following a misunderstanding between them at a drinking spot. The incident brings the number to 6 people killed in similar fashion in the town in the last 3 years. There is also a rising case of armed robbery and smuggling of contraband from neighboring countries. The residents are calling on the IGP to ensure the return of police personnel to the area for timely protection of lives and property. Correspondent Ilyas Otanko has more.
The Lovers Inn is one of the most popular drinking spots in Nanpandora and a favorite meeting point for the youth of the town who come here to drink alcohol to get themselves busy as they have no jobs and livelihood opportunities. On the 25th of February, however, a petty scuffle broke out here, which subsequently led to the cold-blooded murder of a 29-year-old man. Suk Faitnib, the deceased, had just completed training as a community police assistant and was awaiting his posting. On the third day, the deceased and his uncle at the drinking spot got into a petty scuffle with two biological siblings, Yao Solomon and his junior brother Labik Titi. The scuffle was quickly resolved by the intervention of the owner of the drinking spot and some elders who advised them to leave the place. However, at about 4:30 p.m. after leaving the drinking spot, the two siblings armed themselves with machetes and a shotgun and attacked the deceased and his uncle at their house. The deceased was stabbed multiple times in his forehead, right chest and stomach. His uncle who was with him was also stabbed severally, but he survived after he was rushed to the hospital. Here is his horrific account of the tragedy.
So we came home here. This was the trouser I was wearing. So my bottom removed, and I removed the trouser. I was just sitting down here on the floor here. So I was to do my medicine. So immediately I hear they just open the gate. Pow! Today is today. You people, this is your end of the end of your day. We will kill you people. Sakoka removed knife, and the junior brother Tete, he also removed knife. And Sakoka pulled in his shirt like this, and he was showing me something. And it's just resemble like bulletproof. He told us that he's well protected. He don't fear gun, he don't fear knife. And my uncle was also trying to come out. Immediately, he's to come out, and the senior brother, Sakoka, come together with the knife to choke him, and he hold on with the knife, and he throw him down. Immediately, he throw him down, and I was standing over there. Tete used his knife and come and choke my guy here. That was why I also ran in to hold Tete would fight. Tete was struggling to also kill me. So this is how it started. This is 1, this is 2. And this is 3. And the senior brother to get chance and choke the stomach. And as he choke him, I hear my guy scream, "Oh, he killed me." So when I was coming, he pushed him like this and he fall. I see intestine was out.
The two siblings after the attack tried to get out of the town to hide, but the junior brother Labit Tete was arrested on the same day as he was fleeing to Sakogu. His accomplice senior brother was also arrested days later around Nalerugu. They have since been detained at the police station in the district capital Bumpurgu. For nearly 2 months after the incident, the family of the deceased wants the police to speed up their investigation to ensure the prosecution of the culprits.
We've lost a great son. We were not on our own minds. So what we want is this. We don't have weapons. We don't have anything to do, because we want the authorities to work according to the law of the government. So they be prosecuted and jailed. When somebody moving from his house to attack the other and even destroy his life, then we want peace. Government should intervene and then let us know the truth so that they can also be picked for life.
We now see that it is more or less delaying. So we are appealing to the Ghana Police Service to fast track things and then make sure that the case is taken to the High Court so that justice would be done. I must say that the family is not happy with the way the people are still at Bunkrugu police station.
The law is one. Murdering case is just to go for jail. And that is all. But we are not happy in a way because they've delayed them so much. I don't know what they wanted to interrogate or what finding they want to make again. and they're still keeping them at Bumpurgu. That one we are not happy.
The murder of the young man has left many in Panduri in shock, but not surprised. According to the residents, since 2020, at least 6 people have been killed in similar manner, including a 64-year-old woman who was burnt alive in 2021. This latest incident, in addition to rampant robbery attacks, communal violence and smuggling of contrabands in the area, has however sparked concerns about poor security for the people living in the area. The Nanpandora town used to have a police station with a huge police presence, but the station was shut down by Ghanaian authorities in the early 2000s over the activities of the notorious bandit leader Johnson Kombien and his gang. As part of measures to re-establish a permanent state security presence in the town, the district assembly started the construction of this police station. However, 2 years after its completion, the facility is yet to be put into use. Sources within the district assembly say the IGP is here to respond to multiple requests inviting him to come and commission the facility and deploy more men. The assemblyman of the area is pleading with the IGP to take steps to ensure equitable provision of security to all Ghanaians, irrespective of their location.
Nanpandora as a town lack security. The security nature here is also volatile because of the invisibility of police officers. We have written letter to the top hierarchy to descend down to commission this police barracks. We are counting on them. Time is not on our side. We are almost into Easter, and our traders who commute here to Sankansi, they are always attacked during this period So if they could quickly do something to that effect, it will help actually solve a lot of problems.
Ilyas Sutanko reporting from
Well, we were live in the area a while ago, and DCE for Bumpurgu Nanpandora, Joseph Luknan, says the District Security Council is working with the police to ensure security in that area. He's also asking that the police should operationalize its post in the community as an interim measure to check the prevailing security threats.
According to the police commander, docket and everything was prepared and they are being processed in court. So what we did was to talk to the family to have a little bit patience whilst they allow the law to take for them to follow the due process to ensure that the justice is being done. This kind of let me say malpractices or bad incident is as the result of this inadequacy visibility of the police. But what I've done is that there was a police station in Nanpandora which has been closed down for over 14 years now, but we've been able to renovate the police station. We've been able to furnish the police station, and we applied to the IGP through district police commander and regional police commander. Then instruction was given for the district police commander to inspect the project and submit an inspection report. And it was done because the police commander, together with my district coordinating director and the engineer, they did the inspection and the report has been duly submitted. So last week, my district police commander informed me that they will be sending us policemen to be stationed in Nanpandora now. And Minister for Interior has also given us an assurance that they will be giving us some number of FPU policemen. Some will be stationed in Panduri, others will go and augment the Bumpurgu team.
Thank you so much for staying here on Joy News today with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo, Lansah. Let's do some politics now. And the New Patriotic Party says Ghanaians should ignore what it describes as total falsehood being perpetrated by the NDC as the true state of the economy. Addressing a news conference a while ago, its chairman, Stephen Ayesu's team says the Nana Akufo-Addo-led administration has handled Ghana's economy better than any other administration in the past. Here are excerpts of his address.
I can cite more, but that would be pointless because every president has a constitutional duty to create the relevant offices and portfolios to deliver on his or her vision and development for the good people of Ghana. What you deem appropriate, which is reasonable.
Yeah, you have live up there.
So you can deliver on your promise. Ladies and gentlemen, the NDC-led government has demonstrated its utmost, the NPP-led government has demonstrated its utmost commitment to fighting corruption. You would recall that an NPP administration led by former President John Agyekum Kufuor passed the Public Procurement Act, Act 663, and the Whistleblowers Act, Act 720, to cure corruption in public sector. The passage of these laws to regulate procurement in the public sector has saved the economy billions of cedis from going into private pockets. Before the enactment of these acts by the Kufuor administration, the PNDC-NDC had been in power for 19 years, but did nothing about the naked corruption in public procurement. Consistent with the MPP's anti-corruption regulatory history established under former President Kufuor, President Akufo-Addo established the Office of Special Prosecutor, the OSP, by an act of parliament, and has empowered the special prosecutor to fight corruption proactively. In addition, the historic Right to Information RTI Act has been passed. The Akufo-Addo administration continues to demonstrate support for anti-corruption agencies such as the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice and the Auditor General's Department to protect the public purse. Ladies and gentlemen, the NDC is a party that talks about corruption, but not a party that fights corruption. If the fight against corruption has been a challenge for any group of persons in Ghana, it is the NDC. They are the only political party in this Fourth Republic whose appointees or officials have been convicted and sentenced for corruption-related offenses. Do you remember the Create, Loot, and Share? That's the NDC's record. The media may recall how the NDC vilified former President Kufuor and his appointees, claiming they were corrupt. But when the NDC won in 2008 and formed a government in 2009, until 2016, they could not convict a single appointee of the Kufuor administration. This is the fact on record. Today, the NDC is again talking about corruption and labeling President Akufo-Addo and his appointees as being corrupt. I appeal humbly to Ghanaians to ignore and disregard the NDC's shouts and name-calling as a ploy to create the impression of widespread corruption and to align itself undeservedly with public disapproval of the acts of corruption. I call on the rank and file of the NPP to arise and mobilize behind our government to defeat the onslaught of the NDC propaganda. This means that all of us in the NPP, from polling stations onwards, must become canvassers and communicators to help disabuse the minds of our fellow Ghanaians from the misinformation that the NDC is feeding this nation.
Stay a while on politics, and NDC parliamentary aspirants in 5 out of the 6 constituencies in the Ahafo region have been vetted. The process is expected to help the NDC put its best foot forward in the 2024 elections in a region where it has only 2 parliamentary seats. But the process has been fraught with allegations after an alleged disqualification over forgery. Precious Semevo has more.
In all, 11 parliamentary aspirants in 5 out of the 6 constituencies in the Ahafo region have gone through the vetting process in Goso to stand on a ticket of the NDC in the upcoming 2024 elections. There were no female aspirants in the near peaceful vetting process so far in a region where the NDC has only 2 parliamentary seats and will be aiming at increasing their numbers. While incumbent Collins Dada of Asutifi South is going unopposed, upon Frimpong filed to challenge the incumbent Eric Opoku for the Sunafo South seat. But that appears a tall order as Mr. Frimpong, the former district chief executive for Sunafo South, is alleged to have been disqualified over 25 alleged forged signatures on his nomination form. Niboy is the Sunafo South Constituency Elections Director.
Honorable Upon Frimpong, former DC for Sunafo South. So after he has submitted his forms, then we have to go through. At first, we are having their branch executive forms. So we have to compare the signatures on the branch executive forms as compared to that of his nomination forms. So after the comparison, we saw that he had forged some of people's signatories. Then we petitioned the vetting committee to consider those things. And after the vetting, they made a decision that he had forged people's signatures, and that's against the rules. So they have ruled him out of the game. So totally 25 forged and 13 impersonation of signatories.
Meanwhile, the incumbent MP, Eric Opoku, expressed his confidence in being retained by the delegate, adding that his preoccupation now is creating jobs for the youth in the Sunafo South.
You know, I'm a member of the appointment committee. I have vetted almost all the ministers in this country, and so I'm used to the process. And it was just normal. I must say that I am a human being. I cannot deliver to the admiration of everybody. When it comes to development, I'm able to lobby and get a lot of development projects for my constituents. In fact, the critical issue that confronts my constituency and which I'm praying to fix after the return of NDC into power is job creation. We have contributed towards the education of many young guys in the constituency. What they want now is job. And so my major preoccupation is how I can secure job for the teeming youth who have dedicated themselves towards my cause and the cause of the NDC for all these years. But when it comes to projects, when it comes to development, I think that I have made a huge impact in the constituency.
The party is expected to make a decision soon on turn on off. Precious Semevo, Joy News, Goso.
Away from politics to the Ashanti region capital, while Kumasi is losing its green cover, drainage systems are leaking in dangerous states. Well, the situation is a worry to residents, and they've complained and expressed disappointment in the management of the once glorified Garden City. Love FM's Clinton Yeboah explores the situation.
Known for its green setting and vegetation, Kumasi, the capital city of the Ashanti region, earned its accolade, the Garden City of West Africa, by the late Queen Elizabeth II during her visit to Kumasi in 1961. The Queen might have compared Kumasi to several West African cities and admired Kumasi's environmental beauty, but the garden city status in recent observation appears to be on a declining spree. From 2001 to 2021, Kumasi lost 1.21 hectares of tree cover, equivalent to a 42% decrease in tree cover since 2000, and 567 knots of carbon dioxide emissions. Many parts of the zoological gardens spanned across the city, like the Adeshiman Gardens, currently serve as trading spots. The Kejetia roundabout, which gave the Kumasi city center a green site worthy of admiration, is lost. Additionally, drainage systems in the city are in their poorest conditions. So this is one of the sites eroding the image of the Kumasi city. Where we are standing is not a dump site, but a gutter that has been infested with waste of all kinds. Our intel tells us that the waste stretches from here in Akwetia line to Abu-Baidoo station, and that's quite a long distance. The situation is worsened in the rainy season as areas including Alonga Junction, Abinchi, Takojom and Bremai record flooding.
Ayana suo tobe bre wallahi uba no ho ba ho fiene ni nyira efiri kurum e de aba ho nti e ba gota no inside the betima wura de akono entimi ko na e gina se ya menye zumla ba tambia me yezumla aduma menye zumla ba tambia me yezumla aduma ayana suo to ade kia na me ba de se mi sisa ball ano ne nyina akogo na ma ye me duma ma se da time pa ina so enyo bia obofo na mo tete football megum ya ni pe no ayefe ya na ya de gum yinyina se ye be bia ye aduma ene bia didie ye na se bo ho ban e bibia se robo bia ya pe that's ban ni de gum.
The green cover and vegetation are acknowledged and encouraged around the world due to global efforts to fight climate change. As a result, the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry initiated the Green in Ghana project to plant millions of trees across the country.
Overall, 7 million seedlings were distributed, and we have the list of the regional distribution that was done. This 7 million is what we distributed, yes, and we can attest to the fact that almost everything was planted. In fact, there was very high demand to the extent that at a point in time we even ran out of the seedlings.
The Bantamahene Bafo Owusu Amankwetia VI is worried about the dilapidating status of the once acclaimed garden city.
Kumasi was the garden city of Ghana. But now when you come, you don't see anything. It's like confusion everywhere.
Not only is the situation defacing the positive image of Kumasi, but it is also slowing down the conscious efforts to fight climate change. This is a wake-up call to all authorities and stakeholders. Reporting for joining.
And that was Clinton Yeboah's report for Joy News. Now, 1 in 87 children under the age of 3 in Ghana is believed to be autistic. Despite limited statistics on the prevalence of autism, treatment and management of the condition have been acknowledged to be very engaging. Yet, mothers report significant stigmatization from families and societies. This affects the well-being of their children. Love affirms Clinton Yeboah again.
On this day and month of autism, we engage some parents and experts here in Komfanochi Teaching Hospital on the demands of caring for an autistic child in terms of acceptance from the community, their educational needs, their nurturing demands, as well as interventional needs. Kwesi, not his real name, is a 12-year-old autistic child in Kumasi. He was diagnosed of the disorder at age 2 after showing signs of the neurological and developmental disabilities. His difficulties with social interactions and communication, violent and repetitive behavior compelled his parents to withdraw him from school. The worried parents sought after religious solutions to cure him, but only ended up being duped of their monies. Felicia Amoa is the mother of Kwesi.
yɛde no kɔyɛ ɔmo de adeɛ hyehyɛ n'asom Children Hospital doctor ne so wɔn hu no hwee ɔte sɛ wɔn no a tefiri hɔ ne yɛte si ɔsɛ spiritual yɛte si asɔfo no so ɛne adwodwo ne yɛsika de TV so fui kasa me bɔ ɔmo din ɛbɛsa ba yakɔ asitiri obi tumi gye 1000 2000 nso yɛ hu hwee yɛ hu sika nyinaa asa.
The situation is no different for 11-year-old Yao, also not his real name.
Nani hwɛ ne deɛ kasa ɛnyɛ din a na ɛtro ne hwɛ din sɛ even waba hospital koraa na wama na duru atwerɛ duru ama ne sɛ yɛmfa ma no no sɛ nipa anyere no paa ahoɔdenfo a ɔnom da na wogu n'anim koraa yɛ wobɛmene duro no ɔto saa ne wɔden papa.
Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a medical condition that impacts an individual's neurological and developmental functioning, affecting their ability to communicate, interact socially, and behave in a typical way. Although the exact cause of autism is yet to be established, research suggests that a combination of genetic and environmental factors contributes to its development. Whilst scientists work around the clock for a possible cure of autism, early diagnosis and intervention can greatly improve outcomes for individuals with autism. Dr. Paul Omojine is a psychiatrist and a lead clinician at the psychiatry unit of Kumasi Teaching Hospital.
Unfortunately, this is a condition that hasn't really been given the attention that it needs in not only Ghana and Sub-Saharan Africa, but globally. They require a lot of modification to their environment and the people around them to be able to accommodate them and to be able to help them achieve their potential, because they do have a lot of potential.
Behavioral, speech, and language therapy and medication have been identified to manage certain symptoms of the diseases. Art therapist at the Kumasi Teaching Hospital, Dr. Jennifer Cooney, advocates for the incorporation of art into the care regimen for autistic children.
Art therapy also helps the children to build their self-esteem, and also to for parents and caregivers to identify certain potentials that they may not know they have, and then we can build on such potentials. So some of the autistic children may like music, they may be very good at playing an instrument, or very good at dancing, or very good at doing something that the parents don't know. So when we expose them to it, we realize that, oh, okay.
Stigma and superstitions hinder the progress and care efforts of parents and caregivers of autistic patients in Ghana. Felicia decries the stigma her son faces in her community. Themed Don't Try to Change, Start by Understanding, this year's World Autism Day seeks to create awareness on stigmatization associated with the condition, debunking claims of the diseases as a curse. Dr. Pearl Addo of the Department of Psychiatry, CATH, reiterated calls for an inclusive care to eschew stigma and rejection.
Children with autism are not a curse. They have strengths and they have weaknesses. Take them to any facility that has mental health professionals or a psychiatrist available. We'll first assess them. We'll be able to determine their strengths and their weaknesses, and then we can help them. Those who have problem with speech, we'll assess if they need a speech therapist, we get them one. Gradually, we work towards them being able to talk. Those who have problem with taking care of themselves, an occupation therapist will work with them so that we teach them bit by bit how to care for themselves.
Reporting for Joy News, Clinton Yeboah.
You're watching Joy News today with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo, Lansah. Up next is Business News Update. Bevelyn Broom has that in a moment. To stay.
Hello, good afternoon. We do business with me, Beverly Broom. The Internal Audit Agency has assured that it will pursue public sector workers using state-owned vehicles for unofficial duties while government is made to pay for maintenance. This is part of the overall payroll monitoring exercise. Director General of the Internal Audit Agency, Eric Odruasai, has been speaking to journalists before the ongoing initiative.
The implication is that government contribution to SNIT will be on the increase. In SNIT's own books, they may think that government owes them. But when you do the audit well, you realize the government does not owe them after all, or the amount should be lower. There are also instances where SNIT pensions increases unnecessarily because persons who are supposed to be on retirement they will still be in active service. So you get SNIT paying their pension and central government also paying their salary. There are instances where people have made themselves car contractors. They give out car documents for people to use to access car maintenance allowance. Once they get their names on the payroll, they send a document back, and that is it. We are going after all such people. Please, if the vehicle does not belong to you, make sure you don't bring it for car maintenance allowance. DVLA will be working with DVLA for continual justification of ownership of vehicles to enable you get government car maintenance allowance. These are some of the issues in the system. And I think that if all of us, we work hand in hand to clean up the system, government compensation budget will be, it will come to the barest minimum, and probably going into the future, there will be no need for us to go to IMF because we will make a lot of savings on the government compensation budget and free some resources for other development projects.
Now, prices of tomatoes in the local market in Kumasi has seen an astronomical increase in recent time. A box of tomatoes we used to sell at 600 cedis is now going for 2,500 Ghana cedi. Importers blame the upsurge in prices of the high exchange rate of the CFA francs and attacks on farmers and importers by militant groups. Lavafem has been investigating this and has come through with this report.
A retailer at Racecourse Market says pieces of tomatoes sold at 10 Ghana cedis now sell at 50 Ghana cedis. She says the sharp increase in prices is adversely affecting businesses in the tomato value chain.
10 cedis in Amidjilan, we first now at 10. 5 cedis will be to out in Micham and 50.
The tomato market is visibly empty as compared to previous periods. Importers blame the hikes in prices on the continuous attacks on farmers and transporters in Burkina Faso by militant group Boko Haram. They say some farmers have been killed and others have fled for their lives. An importer, Mansa, recounts how they were attacked and says farmers killed instantly, making them lose a huge sum of money.
Hey, be a year and patron so a mobile driver when they can't buy it. The job patron, nippon, make Manima, Pepe, they couldn't pass Nina. They couldn't pass Nina, I saw Pammy, Menima, Mintos, and Machiaka, Mijan, totally fun, but Jenny in our my Jan toast Nina on them 2 cars I buy. But Burkina, they said they walk on easy.
Another importer, Higa Kofi, says her brother was shot and killed by these militants. The traders say the situation has affected sales and could create shortages. The market queens for tomatoes in the Ashanti region wants the government to increase One Village, One Dam initiative and invest heavily in tomato farming. They also want the government to stop the free fall of the cedi against the CFA to avoid further hikes in the price of the tomatoes on the local market. Market queens Abna Sewa and Hajia Mensura are upbeat of the economic potentials of tomato production when given the needed attention.
basri tata eni ya obakina no opo won nyina achi na ya boka na yesu nyara basata na tata ye enti yesra base yesra no wo ka one district one dam ye pa ne chobebrebe yesra no ye pa ne chobebrebe ye ho chire papa eka atu ye
duty bibia etwa no border so atamse 2222 enti amanu ama no wo kɔ na wo tɔn sen wo beduru ha ye nsem bebre enti ye besra ban won hwe muma ye pa ebe ye kura ka won frɛ ye na woni ye ntenase ne ye nkyire no mu na afi wono a won hunu kwa wo befa so a ebe boa ye ama ya timi aye because kwa bia so edu season we aga na ha ye nobi kwa ne ebe kwa kofa aba.
Elkuma Leaks reports for Joy News.
That's all for business. We have more business on myjoyonline.com/business. I am Beverly Broom. Have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News today. This afternoon, comedian and actor Funny Face has revealed that his depressive episodes months back were because of his children. According to him, after he was separated from his kids, he went out of control because of his immense love for them.
But what didn't take me through depression?
You just mentioned.
You are trying to mention, but you are just so I've mentioned it for you. What I'm trying to say is that it didn't take me to depression.
What took you to depression?
The love of my children took me to depression. What I say, I was so crazy about my daughters to the extent that when they were crawling, when they fall and cry, I cry too.
Oh.
Naturally, I'm emotional. You know your kids, like I love people's kids. I love people's kids deeply. So much more my own. And
I've been to your house where
and they were twins too.
In your house, I remember very early in the morning at about 6 or 7 a.m. and these children come standing in front of your house.
Yes.
Wanting to enter. I remember.
I call them Council of Elders.
I have a visitor. Wait for you guys go and come back. They say no. They wait.
No. They'll wait. They'll come to the house. They'll come and play with me. So when I got Ella and Bella, it was, and that's the mistake I would tell people not to do. Never put your trust in humans or a subject or anything. Make God your focus. Make God the center of your attraction. When you put your trust in humans, when that thing is no more there, or when the human disappoints you, it will be difficult for you to bounce back.
So in this case, who did you put your trust in? You mean your children?
My children.
So you don't want to put your trust in the children again?
Oh, Tobasi, Andy, take it easy before you give me trouble. What I'm saying is that my trust is in them, but it's not like first. Yeah. As in like my emotions now, I'm emotionally intelligent. I control my emotions about them. First, I couldn't control it. My emotions were all over the place. When they are jumping, unless I don't see them to laugh. When they start laughing, I will start fooling more.
Let's move away from Funny Face. Let's talk about cues and lyrics. Here is all you need to know, all the updates about your favorite show.
Michael from Kaswa idolizes the rock star Kwame Eugene and performs his hit track, Fire Fire, in their hope of making the cut for Joy Prime's latest music talent hunt, Cues and Lyrics. He cajoled the judges onto their feet throughout his audition, but it was all for the wrong reasons. Listen to his rendition.
Anything they do better. Carry your girl, but you don't give up. We know they fear Shelly, and we look fly, petty, sweet vibes, yeah, baller. Me and the guys, we there for one corner. Hide your lover, from the fire. Me and the guys, we there for one corner. Hide your lover, from the fire. We got the eyes on the girls in the corner. Eyes on the girls in the corner. We got the eyes on the girls in the corner. Eyes on. We living la vida local. holiday, here we come. My guys not afraid to enter the DM of Bernard the Stallion, cause we are young, we carry on, oh my God, I bet you are feeling this song,
I didn't give you a radio that you tire. You know, Charlie, this one, you feel like you need a stadium where you go perform for. Here be small for you, or are they lie? Here be talk for the mic. You need a stadium where you go perform. Here be small.
Yeah.
So one, the song to know you they sing off way no timing. The dancing move self no timing. What happened?
Unfortunately, Michael from Kaswa could not make it past the first round of auditions.
Better luck next time, Michael. That'll be all for Showbiz here on Joy News today. That's more Showbiz news in our subsequent bulletins. Good afternoon to you. Bernice.
Yeah, Becky, interesting times ahead as we wait for the major viewing of Cues and Lyrics. But do stay with us here on the Joy News channel for more. Coming up next is The Marketplace. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. I'm Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. Do have a good afternoon. Darryl Kwao appears on your screens shortly. Do stay.